What? Oh, went the wrong way. I can see you.
Good morning. And welcome to our Bodhi Day service. My name is Kent Yoshiwara, and I'll be your chairperson today. We will now have Sambujo on page 24 and 25, followed by the reading of the Yobakumon, and then we will have the Junidai on page 67.
We're gathered here this morning to commemorate the day of enlightenment of Siddhartha Gautama. This wonderful event took place on the morning of December 8th, over 2,500 years ago in India. With the rising of the morning star, the prince became the Buddha, the fully awakened one. As we observe this very auspicious occasion, may we learn from the content of his enlightenment and begin to live each day fully, humbly, and gratefully. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya.
Please stand for our first gatha. In the white book, we are one on page 150. And remain standing for the reading of the golden chain on page 15 in the purple book.
Listen with your mind to what we have see.
golden chain. Number 1. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda.
Now, Reverend Fujimoto will give a Dharma talk.
Good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. Nice to have all of you here in our special Bodhi Day service. If you take a moment to look at our altar area, the Onaijin, and say, oh, today we have a special service, so we have our orange Uchishiki up here. So it's very beautiful to have this on our special services. You might think, oh, we have even all the fruits are orange hued. We have oranges and kaki up there, similar colors. You might say, oh, Sensei is wearing orange robes. Wonder what is the significance of that? Some people might wonder. Maybe I'll ask Sensei. And maybe Sensei will ignore you. So today we have our Bodhi Day service. We commemorate the enlightenment of Prince Siddhartha as he became the Buddha. And we recall the story of his awakening. So the story of enlightenment for Buddhists throughout history and for Buddhists around the world today. It's a story of origin. It's our story of origin. And the story points to the possibility of all beings to awaken to what is true and real. So the realm of enlightenment is to see reality as it is and not how we wish it to be. Okay? So to get away from our self-centered perspective, then we are able to gradually grow to become closer and closer to our own awakening. So each of us kind of needs to transform from one who cannot see to one who can, from one who lives in delusion to one who is awakened. So Siddhartha went through this transformation, and each Bodhi Day we recognize the story of his enlightenment. Please join me in Gassho, and we'll read this wasan. Those who reach the Pure Land of happiness return to this evil world of the 5 defilements, where like the Buddha Shakyamuni, they benefit sentient beings without limit. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. So Shindan Shonin had written this poem, this wasan, and he points to Shakyamuni Buddha as an example for all of us. In our Nembutsu tradition, in Shin Buddhism, we're encouraged to come to our Shinjin awakening, Shinjin. And this is a very deep appreciation, and we share this path to assist all others on this path, Nembutsu path. In the life of the Buddhists, the Bodhisattva path is to assist all others to awaken, and then to assist all others as they assist all others to come to their own awakening. So this is infinite compassion in action. Okay? The Bodhisattva helps others, first attaining his own enlightenment, then assisting others, and assisting them who are trying to assist others. This movement of compassion goes on and on. Okay? So Shinran is pointing out in this Wasan that Shakyamuni is our example of how to live such a life. So when we think about the story of Prince Siddhartha's awakening, so many things that happened in his life. We go through his story of going through the 4 gates of his father's kingdom and seeing different views. And at the 4th and final gate, he came to see a monk. Okay? And he was struck by the appearance of this monk. He was dressed in very simple clothing, and his face was calm and content. And as he looked upon the monk, he thought, I should like to do this too, to look for the truths of life, the truths of the world. And this became a driving force for him. So he left the kingdom, he left his family, he had a baby son, and all of these things. It's not so easy for him to leave, but he thought this was important. Major thrust of his life, so he wanted to see if he could come to an understanding and an awareness. So he left all of these responsibilities and ties that he had, and so he wandered alone. He dressed in rags himself, and he begged for food, stepping far away from the royal life that he had. And he went wandering through the forest, listening to different men, different wise men, and meditating alone. And in one description, it was written in this manner: in his meditation, Siddhartha asked, "What am I? Do I have something permanent in myself?" And he examined his body, his skin, muscles, bone, blood. He examined his mind, things such as sensation, conception, volition, consciousness. Then he realized that everything in his body and mind was constantly moving, changing, and flowing. And he likened our lives like the river that he was sitting next to. It always seems the same river, but it's constantly changing. This water at this moment is not the water at the next moment. So human life is like this, constantly changing, and we stop it to consider it as an entity. So deep in his meditation, he tried so hard. He wouldn't eat, he wouldn't sleep, he wouldn't bathe. His body was starved. We have images of him that, painted descriptions of all his bones showing his stomach areas concave from not eating, still sitting there. But his mind didn't become any clearer, still sitting in meditation. In fact, he became even more confused and distracted. His body became weaker and weaker. So briefly, he lost his consciousness, and in that state, one of the young ladies from the village, Sujata, came to him, noticed that he was so weak, so I should bring him some food. So brought him this milk porridge and fed him a little bit. And through that, Siddhartha regained his strength and kind of refocused. He thought he would try again. He bathed again. He finished the meal and he was stronger again. So taking his seat under the Bodhi tree. This is why we have our Bodhi tree, to remind us of this struggle that he went through to gain his awakening. So he was rested and strong again, started his meditation again. So we have this image of him determined more than ever. And during this meditation, again, he had this description of a battle with Mara, okay? And Mara is like a demon that could change forms. Mara would become this fierce warrior in battle with Siddhartha, distracting him. Mara became a very beautiful maiden, and kind of attracting the prince away from his enlightenment, away from his focus and his meditation, trying to lure him away. Okay, so from becoming part of his desires, appearing as this beautiful image, and all of these different ways that Mara would attack him, trying to take him out of his focus. So who was this Mara battling and fighting Shakyamuni, keeping him from his enlightenment? So each of us have our own Mara, and this Mara is our subconscious self, our ego-centeredness. So our ego has this position in each of us that it wants to maintain power and control in our own lives. No matter what we do, our ego-centeredness emerges and re-emerges and redirects us, having us lose our focus away from our spiritual growth, keeping us busy doing whatever we want to do, whatever we need to do. Okay? It doesn't want to relinquish its position of control and power. Okay? One of the things when I notice we're always talking about, we read about in the Three Treasures and such, about the distraction that our ego causes us. And when we think about other teachings, other religions, you see this battle between good and evil. And you see good on one side, evil on the other side. But in Buddhism, we find ego and non-ego, right? And this battle is not out there. The battle is here. So we're looking within. So this meditation becomes important. Reflection, concentration of how we are as people. Okay? So it's not something that we look for in others or in other situations where there's a conflict of good and evil. We don't look at that. We look at ego, non-ego. All of our readings address our self-centeredness as a distraction in our lives. Okay? And it's not a matter of good and evil, and we don't divide the world in that manner. Okay? So going through all of these things, Prince Siddhartha battling with his own ego thoughts and sitting there thinking about his past life of royalty and his life as a monk at that moment. And, as royalty, he had everything, all the comforts of life. And now he's sitting there without food and water, rags that he's dressed in. And so these are the two extremes. Neither one was bringing him to his awakening. And so he came back to this middle ground. And for this, we are encouraged too, to seek the middle where there is a calm and balance and not these extremes that we come to in our own lives. Okay? So once he became enlightened, awakened, he thought, this is too difficult to share. How can I possibly share this with others so they can come to this same awakening as I have found? And indecisive, should I hold it and enjoy it, appreciate it for myself, or should I share it with others? And so we come to think of his decision to share this Dharma, share the truth as the beginning of the turning of the wheel of the Dharma. Okay. Our national newsletter is called The Wheel of Dharma. On our front door, we have an image of the wheel of Dharma. So every time we come into our temple, we see this wheel, thinking about the turning of the wheel of Dharma. And just not as Buddhist symbol, but this is how the Dharma reached me, my life, my family. Okay? From my parents bringing me to the temple, from somehow somebody showing me the depth of the Buddhist teachings. I'd like to find out something more for myself. And so something piques our interest to notice this wheel of Dharma, that it's turning, and it has reached me. So this is one of our symbols that we have. So struggling with his wisdom, and then deciding finally, I need to share this with others. So until the wisdom reaches others, it's useless. It's just sitting there in his own head. So to share the Dharma, turn the wheel of Dharma, is the movement of compassion, moving towards each of us, coming to reach each of our lives. So the Dharma moves to us and then through us to others. The Bodhisattva ideal, again, for the Buddhist to live with the teachings and to share it with others. This becomes the movement of wisdom and compassion, and to take in all beings, not just a few, not just that for the fellow monks. It became more and more through Shinran's time. The Nembutsu came to be because it would be a way from even the simplest of beings, they could practice Buddhism. Okay? Not going through years and years of discipline and training, but to do it comfortably within the Sangha, within the family, eating together, sharing time together. We're able to do this. So even more, it becomes the movement of compassion, not only to the elite, but to everyone. So this is what we see in our Shin Buddhist tradition. Okay? And it becomes all the more to be able to reach all beings, all beings. So as we think about the story of awakening, Shakyamuni Buddha's coming to become enlightened, I think the story is important because it puts us into the story. Okay? It's not just about the life of Prince Siddhartha leaving his family, but our own struggle in dealing with learning about Buddhism, coming to the temple, wondering. We are Prince Siddhartha. We become the main person in the story. So we live a life of royalty. We have a lot of things. We have so many things, too many things. Okay? And so we're the ones that are wondering, is this all there is to life, or is there more? Should I go to the temple? Should I help the temple? Should I listen to the Dharma and study earnestly, listen earnestly? Or should I take my family to brunch today and enjoy family time? Because that's special too. So which one is the priority? And we juggle this. And I think, is the Dharma worth my time and effort? Or am I too busy with other things? We struggle with this. Do the teachings of the truth make my list of priorities, or do they not? And maybe we're pulled away. Mara wins another round of the battle. And we're stepped a little bit further back in our own progress and meditative states. Okay. So the Buddhist path, the stories and the teachings reflect this process of growth and awakening for all of us. Okay. We grow beyond ourselves to be able to see this whole network of support, sustenance in our lives, and all this interconnected reality allows me to live my life. So we grow to become other-centered rather than self-centered, and we live in this manner and we share it with others through the life of Nembutsu. Please join me in Gassho, and we'll read this Wasana hymn. Those who reach the Pure Land of Happiness return to this evil world of the 5 defilements, where like the Buddha Shakyamuni, they benefit sentient beings without limit. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Thank you.
Thank you, Sensei, for your Dharma message. Please stand for our last gatha, Purple Book, Ondok-san, on page 220. Please be seated. Thank you to those who helped setting up the altar. Thank you, Sensei, for the service. Lenny, for the organist. Are there any newcomers here today? Announcements. Next Sunday, December 17th, Dharma School. Is there a confirmation? Dharma School Family Service. Guest speaker Landon Yamaoka. Sunday, December 24th, no service. New Year's Eve service on Sunday, December 31st, 3 p.m. New Year's Day service, Monday, January 1st at 10 a.m. Are there any other announcements? I'd like to thank you for attending this morning's service. I have a note here, instead of Oshoko right now, we're going to move right into the temple general membership meeting. So please stay and offer incense after the meeting. Oh, Sensei.
Yeah, I have one thing to share. It was mentioned that next week Landon Yamaoka will be here, and he'll be our guest speaker. He's a young student of Buddhism. He has his 2 ordinations, but he's not quite finished, so he's working as a minister assistant at Palo Alto and helping here and there. And so he will have time for the Dharma school at 9:30 and have a message for them, and he'll stay for the adult service and give his presentation, a Dharma message for us. And following that, he's going to meet with the Buddhist Education Committee and some others, and maybe there'll be some younger ones. And because he's significantly younger than me, we're going to see what kind of experiences he has had to engage, what kind of things have been helpful for him, and programs that he has seen in other areas and other temples that maybe help us to attract younger adults. And we have people here connected to our own families or community when we have bazaar, obon, they're very happy to help, but very rarely do they come to engage in some of the things happening inside the temple. They might come to the kitchen to get supplies, but rarely do we see them in here. So some kind of area. So when we go after service to the social hall, it's going to kind of be set up so there's going to be a discussion. If you want to listen, you can sit closer. If you rather have your coffee and chat, you can sit on the little bit further away. So this discussion with Landon can go on, and so there's kind of going to be a little bit extra happening next week. Okay. And finally, I thought I'd mention, I thought people, after I pointed out everything's of an orange hue, right? And some people might look and just say, "Oh, how nice, how beautiful," and sit with that. Others might think, I wonder what the significance of that is. Maybe I should ask Sensei. And when you ask such a question, you're in your head wondering about things, and you're not in your body appreciating the moment. That's why you'll get ignored. Thank you. Now I'll leave it to Jane for our general meeting.
Sensei,